Hi, Dave here, and in this video we're going to be looking at these bad boys here, the ADAM T7Zs. Hi, Dave here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the beasts of the ADAM Audio T7Ss. Now we got the front, which is nice, really slick. You've got the sub there, which is the 7-inch, because this is the T7V, and you've got the tweeter there as well. Now, to some of you, it might look very different to what you're used to. You're used to a dome, and this is one of the crucial differences between the speakers, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. Now, technically, it's not a ribbon tweeter, but everyone knows it as that, so let's just say it's a ribbon tweeter for now. But if you want to geek out, then you can find a YouTube video on ADAM Audio about this tweeter, and it's actually very interesting. And if we take a look on the back, you've got the normal EIC power cable with an RCA unbalanced, a balanced XLR, and then you have the level minus 60 dB to plus 18. Then you've got the low frequency and high frequency plus and minus 2 dB. So pretty standard, what you would expect on a speaker. You've got the bass port at the back as well, which means be careful how close you put it to your wall and where you position it. So first of all, let's talk about the things that I would like to have on this. And that is the light on the front, just to indicate to say it's turned on, because you don't technically know, because it is quite quiet as well. And also the volume on the back, it would be really nice to have a little click, little lock to go on 0, so you can reach round and just go, right, that's 0. Because you have to reach round and look round as well. And one slight niggle with me, because I've been spoiled with the A7Xs, is the bass ports on the back. I've got the A7Xs, which I've got 2 on the front, which means I can put this right back to the wall if I want to. And that is a big difference for me, for my tiny little studio. So how do they compare with speakers that I've had before and ones that are out on the market now? Now, for years and years, the first speakers I ever bought were Wharfedale Diamond 8.1s, classics. And they served me well. In fact, a friend's got them now and they're still working, I think, 20 years later, or 15 years later, a long time. And I've got some Tannoy 5-inch reveals that I use for DJing, and I'll explain why I use different ones in a minute. For the direct comparison between the Tannoy Reveal 802s, the Rocket 7s and the HS7s, they're all around the same price mark. In fact, on the time of filming, the T7Vs are 159, the Rocket 7 G4s are 179, the Yamaha HS7s are 174, and the Tannoy Reveal 802s are 147. So they're just a few quid more than the Reveals and a couple of quid underneath the other two. So not much to pick from. Now be aware as well, the Yamaha HS7s are actually only a 6.5-inch cone, not a 7-inch. So a little different. The biggest thing on these, however, again, is the tweeter. Now I'm going to show you what I mean, and this is going to look and sound a bit weird, but trust me, and when you get to hear these, you'll understand. So here we have my trusty iPad, and I'm going to do some wicked drawings. Be warned, I can't draw. So here is me. And here's my ear roll there. And here is a normal speaker. And here is a dome tweeter. Because it's domed, and if you look at the side, it looks like that, an actual dome, the sound will fly off everywhere. Okay, and it'll all be bits. Instead of going direct line here, which some of it will, it's going to go off in all different directions. That is a dome tweeter. With our ribbon tweeter and how it's concaved into the speaker as well, it very much comes direct and quite flat. There's not a lot of spillage. There will be a little bit of spillage, but compared to the dome tweeter, it's channeling forwards. And what that means is this sound here and this sound here is like a flat bar to me, and it moves forwards at the same time. So you actually hear the tweeter and the sub at the same time. This is the biggest thing for me. And this is the reason why I would recommend it for certain people and not for others. That's better. Need my little baseball cap, and I wear glasses. And I have a beard. That's more like it. Oh, and I've got a nose. Suppose that's important. Now, that may not mean anything to you, but when you listen to it, the biggest thing is ear fatigue. And I can honestly guarantee you will hear a difference between these speakers. Now, I set my A7Xs, my T7V, and my tannoys up all at the same time. And I did a test. And again, I can't show you these tests because you're not going to get the benefits anyway. But I put them at the same volume and I listened to the dynamics and how it was coming into my ear hole. Now, these aren't the loudest of speakers, but that isn't a problem if you're producing. You want clean levels. And having something like the Rockets, they're bass heavy. And therefore, if you use them for mixing, both for DJing and producing, you're going to roll off a bit more bass than maybe you want to, and maybe what would sound on other speakers because it's not completely flat. They're a bit like their Beats. You hear more bass, and that's why I wouldn't recommend them for DJing, because again, you'll EQ off the low a bit too much for what is being used. But then again, on the tannoys, they push harder from the bottom. I use them for DJing, and I wouldn't use the T7Vs just for DJing. But I would advise the HS7s and the Rockets, if you will, but the tannoys as well, for DJing, because they're really good. They push out the sound, and a lot of DJs either get quite deaf or they want it too loud anyway. So it kind of suits them. They'd probably buy the T7Vs and go, they're not loud enough speakers. Probably placement as well, but they don't give you that push on your eardrum, which is a good thing, but people don't think it is. They want it louder. The difference between the A7Xs and the T7Vs, apart from price, there is a big difference in volume, and obviously there's a big difference in price and components as well. So I can't compare the two, and I wouldn't. But if you wanted the T7Vs just for DJing, I would say listen to them first. But if you were DJing and producing, or just producing, and you wanted to buy one pair of speakers, I would definitely recommend these. The ear fatigue is something that you can experience that you may not know what it is. I sit next to my A7Xs for hours and hours and hours, and my ears still feel good afterwards. I sit next to my tannoys. After about an hour, I'm done. I got hold of a JBL Boombox 2. For those of you who know what that is, it is a killer outside waterproof Bluetooth speaker. It lasts 24 hours, and the bass is on both sides, and it's so bass heavy that my ears get tired within about 20 minutes unless I'm outside with it, and even then I need it away from me. So there's a huge difference in speakers, and what's really good is the Adam speakers are top notch, and they're using the same ideas and similar components to get a really good, reasonably priced result. And I can't emphasize ear fatigue enough. Try it. You sit next to speakers as long as I do, and you will notice a huge difference. You don't have to have them so loud. They go more direct. They come in at the same time. And I'm really quite impressed. For the price, if I didn't have the A7Xs now, I definitely would buy these for the same principle, for editing and a bit of DJing. This is a very non-technical review. It's about explaining the difference between them. They're very nice looking. They sound great. They're affordable. And they're definitely something to factor in when you are budgeting for speakers. And please don't underestimate ear fatigue and ear damage. And this is something which is why I would push people, if they're producing/DJing, to be the ones for you. Everyone's different. Everyone wants something different. But I wear earplugs when I DJ anyway. So the projection isn't so much on me, which I would advise you use earplugs when you DJ as well. But when you're mixing, you want something that's gentle but true. And that's what you get here. So I hope that's helped. Ask me any questions down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.